not ready to go yet. Okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something. All right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, please, people, come on, we're adults here.
You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay, next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality.
Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't, no, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of she was more of the prissy girl, like going
that is
and
the best shit fucking
shopping
ever.
for dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with the cute.
Shout out to Cherry for just being just easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Since your old man ain't got no heart, why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys. good afternoon, people. Happy Monday, if there is such a thing. I am really, really glad to see you guys. Oh, man, you guys are pissed off. Oh, man, y'all are mad. Big mad. I get it, though. I get it. But y'all didn't see this coming? Y'all didn't see this coming? You know what I mean? Come on now. Now, I set this live early this morning. Well, not early this morning, but as soon as I found out a few hours ago. And then I found out that Turtle Boy is about to go live in just a couple minutes too, in about 20 minutes, I think. So yeah, I'm not gonna be mad at nobody if y'all take off and go over there and watch that. I'd almost rather be watching that myself. Come back, catch the replay. But since I already set this live and I'm gonna I don't think I can do it again. I don't think there's another time today I can get to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go through with it. But I'm glad you all are here. And if you're catching the replay, thanks for catching the replay. But this is yeah, I mean, again, folks, like, you didn't see this coming. But the timing, I feel like there's not much strategy in the timing there, Paul. It doesn't seem like it's the right time, to try to pull this shit. I mean, it's good for Karen, but I think that the strategy here is, oh my goodness, I'm just a girl in the world, gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Thank you so much. I'm just a girl in the world. Yes, it is good for Karen. I mean, now I think the strategy here is because the trial is coming up, or at least part of the strategy. If I had to guess, I haven't read the thing yet, so this is just me spitballing. But I think that the strategy is possibly maybe to overwhelm her. So I don't think that's gonna work. And before I continue, a big happy birthday to Bill Reed, Karen's dad. I think he turned 76 today. So a big happy birthday to Bill Reed. Mr. Bill Reed, happy birthday, sir. 76 trips around the sun is nothing to shake a stick at, and we're glad you did. All right. Now, I'm a little dumbfounded. I gotta be honest. I find this to be silly, because I'm hearing a lot of people saying, because now I can't wait to hear what the law tubers have to say about this, because I'm hearing a lot of chatter about how there's going to be more information that is going to come out in a civil case versus a criminal case. So I don't know exactly how that works. I can't even begin to explain it to you, but that's the chatter that I'm seeing on the old Twitter X, and some people were commenting here in the chat too, certain things too. Now, Paul's motives for doing this. Is it just Paul? Because I believe his parents are involved in this lawsuit as well. So I really don't know, but I really don't know, but we'll have to find out. I mean, let me see about real quick. Let's watch this real quick and try to update ourselves a little here.
We want to pass along a little breaking news coming in out of the state of Massachusetts in the Karen Reed case. She, of course, is accused of backing up her SUV into her Boston police officer boyfriend, leaving him to die in the snow. The family of John O'Keefe has just filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Karen Reed, along with the Waterfall Bar and C.F. McCarthy's bar. You remember that before this, they were out drinking at both of those two establishments. And
Now, I don't hate this guy yet. This guy talking, I don't hate this guy yet. I feel the way I felt about Vinny, about this guy, like, 6 months ago. That's how I feel about this guy right now.
It was alleged during the first run of the criminal trial that Karen Reed had downed up to 9 drinks. This comes after the ruling on Friday by the judge in her murder case that she can be retried on all 3 charges. The defense wanted to get rid of those top charges, the top one especially, but the top 2 that they claim the jury actually did come to a decision on, but Judge Beverly Cannoni sided with the state. So here's where we stand. Her new trial set for January of next year. That's where it is now. Likely, the defense is going to appeal that ruling by Judge Cannoni in terms of those top 2 charges. So that may get pushed. They did pull the trigger, though, on this wrongful death lawsuit. Let's bring in Denver, Colorado, Eric Faddis is a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor.
Yeah,
this move. What's your take on this move?
Yeah, they're suing C.F. McCarthy's and Waterfall as well. It's so weird.
At this time, a lot of times the parties wait for
and it's really not, because here's the thing: is it's going to be really difficult to prove this, and I mean. Because I obviously what they're trying to do, if they're trying to hold the Waterfall Bar and Grill and C.F. McCarthy's accountable, it's because of the allegation that Karen Reed had too much to drink and she drove. She drove home, or she left the bar intoxicated. They served her drinks, and it resulted in the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe, according to the charges. But the problem with that is there was no conviction yet. So it's weird that they would do this without a conviction. Or maybe, okay, let me word it like this. It's weird to me because we know they're not going to get a conviction. We know that Karen Reed is not going to be convicted of this. There was just a mistrial declared. I mean, in a civil trial, it's going to be, I would assume, admissible that these jurors came forward and tried to tell the judge and tried to tell the Commonwealth that they voted unanimously to acquit Karen Reed of counts 1 and 3. So count 2 would still apply, operating involuntary manslaughter while operating a vehicle under the influence. Okay, that might still apply, but the problem is even there, that was a split vote. She was not convicted on that charge. Welcome, Liz Reed. It's good to see you. Happy birthday to your dad, by the way. She was not convicted on that charge, even if so. Either way, there's no conviction here. So it's going to be really hard to convince the civil court that she's responsible for this, especially if, let's say, she's able to present in this civil case the ARCA experts. She's able to say that this whole thing is under federal investigation. If she's able to say that the McAlberts have been lying, and if she's able to convince a judge sitting on the bench or a jury, depending on what happens here, that now the thing is that the O'Keefes would have to prove that she's responsible. But There's more to create. My point being is that there's more to create doubt in the civil suit, and there's way more chance to create doubt in that civil suit than there is in the criminal suit or in the criminal trial. So it doesn't make sense that they think that they can win this. I don't understand what the strategy here would be other than to try to just wear Karen down and wear her family down. That's the only thing that makes sense to me right now. Let's continue with the video here. Let's see what these attorneys have to say.
For the criminal process to finish, it gives them more ammunition. If the individual is found guilty, they are going now after Karen Read, C.F. McCarthy's, and the Waterfall Restaurant. At this point, before the second trial, your thoughts on the strategy?
Yeah, Ted, like you said, it makes sense to bring it after a criminal case when there's actually a conviction, because then you have really a leg to stand on. You have all this additional evidence. You have some
I love when lawyers validate my shit, bro. I hadn't even watched this yet. People, dude, if you're an idiot like me and you hear a lawyer validate your shit, bro, it's so rewarding.
leverage and some momentum. Here, they don't exactly have that on the civil side, but it certainly makes sense to bring the claim. There is a lesser standard they would have to meet on the civil side. So even if the standard was not met in the criminal trial, they've got a better chance in the civil case.
And we saw that play out in the O.J. Simpson case years ago, where he was able to beat the murder charges in criminal court, but lost in civil court to the Goldman family. That it also might, because this has been so contentious, this case from both sides, people have leaned into it. And by filing this, will this give the court of public opinion more ammunition, maybe, as the civil side of this track starts to push through? Because to your point, it's a different burden, but also there's going to be different discovery that will likely come in and be honed in on. Your thoughts on that, how it'll take?
Yeah, if it becomes admissible that the Norfolk County DA's office is under investigation, and that 3,000-page document, no telling what's actually in it, and those ARCA experts get to fucking testify, that their testimony in the even their testimony in the criminal trial gets to be admitted. What the fuck do they think is going to happen here? What do the O'Keefes think they're going to accomplish here? That they're not going to win this.
Change the complexity of the area there up in Massachusetts, and frankly, the country, who's been following every moment of this case.
Yeah, I think there are a number of ways that it could change things. So one is on the civil side, you get opportunities to gather information that you don't always get on the criminal side. Karen Read's attorneys and the prosecutors cannot serve a subpoena on someone and fully interview them under oath, whereas on the civil side, they can. So I imagine there are going to be additional depositions. There are going to be additional what are called interrogatories and requests for admissions that are probably going to bolster the prosecution's case and could be used in the subsequent criminal trial.
And so this civil action can actually produce potential discovery that we could see in January or some point next year, just by the process itself.
See, that's what I think. That's what I think, Magistra. They just want to bury her in legal fees. That's it. They want to wear her down. That's the strategy here. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
Like if she's deposed, if the bartender at the Waterfall or C.F. McCarthy, more information that then could likely come in, right, by the state, the Commonwealth would then have the green light.
Yeah, Ted, that's right. Take the bartender, for example. On the criminal side, there is no real legal mechanism to force him to give information before the jury trial in a criminal context. Whereas on the civil side, they could just subpoena him and question him about nearly anything under the sun and get that information that could add to inculpatory evidence that they might have against Karen.
That's a really good point right there. So, they never called the bartenders, to my recollection, to the stand in the trial. So, and they have the right to not say jack shit. They have the right to not say jack shit. But in a civil case, they get subpoenaed to be deposed, and then they have to they're under oath. They have to testify. Oh, one of them. That's right. One of them did testify. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Kylo Bear, thank you so much.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Kylo Bear, thank you so much. This is sad, very weird, and in my opinion, misguided anger. Yeah, I'm sure that is definitely a factor in this as well. I'm very sure that that's a factor in this. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Karen Read, there could also be what's called exculpatory evidence or evidence tending to indicate she is not guilty. So it really could.
So if one bartender already testified that she wasn't wasted, okay, well then, I mean, what's burden of proof saying? However, that can shift for a more serious case or based on the direction of defense. I mean, right. Yeah, that's basically what they're saying here.
But change the game one way or the other.
What about timing? The civil case, just filed today. It's what? How, with your experience, would you think this takes? How long does it take? Where, let's think ahead. Is this landing sometime next year? Is it still years away from a conclusion? Most civil cases never sniff a courtroom. They're always pled out, and there's insurance companies involved, especially when you have three different defendants here. You've got two restaurants and Karen Read. Give us a sense for the rules of the road and how things map out typically in the civil litigation.
Certainly. So usually the civil side kind of runs parallel to the criminal side of things.
No, I don't see why, unless she countersues and it's somehow relevant. But that's another question. I am totally split on whether or not Karen Read will or even should countersue. Does she have the right to? Absolutely. Probably. I mean, if she has grounds, then she absolutely has the right. The O'Keefes have the right to sue if they want to. It's just, should they?
But on the civil side, there will be things that they cannot do as well. So if they try to depose Karen Read, she still has a Fifth Amendment right to not incriminate herself with this subsequent criminal trial. So she might not give up any additional helpful information. And then in terms of a timeline, I'm wondering if they were coming up against the statute of limitations or something like that, such that on the civil side, they had to file the claim now and get things moving. But certainly attorneys...
I didn't take that into consideration. The possibility of a statute of limitations in Massachusetts on a case like this. I don't know if there is one. So if there is a statute of limitations, they could have been reaching that deadline and they needed to get the ball rolling, as this guy said so. So that makes sense.
In both of those arenas, we'll be watching very closely what happens in the other and seeing how they can use it for their respective cases.
So 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. That makes sense. So if the statute of limitations is 3 years, then yeah, it makes sense that they would start to get this going now. Okay, so that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense to me.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
TBM, thank you so much. The document says that John's dad is one of the plaintiffs. Plaintiffs thought he was pro Karen. It's nuts, all of it. Yeah, I was never. I just never really paid much attention to who was on whose side. You know, Paul kind of forces you to see that on his end, but I never really paid a whole lot of attention to what, you know, the O'Keefes as far as the parents go, because they haven't really said much.
Yeah, makes sense. And the I do think there's too also a probably frustration level from the family.
Yeah, Cherry is saying, Cherry's making a valid point, but she's saying this Sandra Birchmore's family is suing the Farwells and they haven't been found guilty either. This is normal to do. True, but the reason why people are saying, Cherry, that that it's bizarre is because of the evidence that is lacking against Karen Read. The only way, the reason why people are saying that without a conviction they don't have a chance is because a conviction is the only thing that would that is the only leverage that they would have. The evidence is in Karen Read's favor. So if there's a conviction, that's going to be a lot easier for them to convince whether you know, either a judge or a jury that Karen Read is responsible for the death of John O'Keefe. Buzzing for Truth member for 8 months. Thank you so much. How disgusting the GoFundMe money wasn't enough. Yeah, I don't know a lot about the GoFundMe money. We'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, as far as the point is that a conviction it would be the only chance because all of the evidence is so strong. Because even with the conviction, Karen Read would still have a chance to win this lawsuit, considering the evidence that is lacking. But there's just no way you would ever get a jury to convict Karen Read on the evidence that the prosecution claims to have against her. That's the whole point here.
The family after that, you know, the mistrial the first time around, that they are seeking justice in each and every form. And there you see John O'Keefe, who is named as the lead plaintiff in the civil case. What, Eric, while we have you on this subject, is your take on this other issue that's playing out? Judge Cannone says, no, this Commonwealth can still file the murder 2 against Karen Read, even though the defense seems to have very credible evidence. Commonwealth even also received communications from jurors that the jury had come to a unanimous verdict on 2 of the 3 charges, and that verdict was not.
Ron, ¿qué te pasa, brother? ¿Qué te pasa? ¿Qué te pasa, niño? ¿Qué te hicieron, papo? ¿Qué te hicieron, papo? ¿Te tocaron en la parte privada? ¿Qué crimen? Ay, Dios mío. ¿Qué crimen? Hey, Ron, you got to calm down, buddy. What's wrong, buddy? Why are you so upset? Why are you so mad, dude? We're here for you, bro. We're here for you, Ron. Like, I don't get what you're so upset about. This chat, we can give you virtual hugs, okay? We can't give you literal hugs, but we can give you virtual hugs. And I think everybody here right now, Ron, is giving you a virtual hug, my friend. Okay? Okay, you're loved, AA Ron. You're loved here. Okay, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Not guilty.
I think the judge could be on questionable grounds there, because even when there is a mixed verdict or a non-verdict and a mistrial, if the jury did come to a unanimous verdict on a number of the charges, that's the end of it. That's double jeopardy. She cannot, under the Constitution, be prosecuted again for crimes for which a jury ultimately found her not guilty. Now, was there a formal not guilty finding? There wasn't. And so the appellate court's going to have to wrestle with, hey, is there enough here the defense is showing us to throw out these top charges or not? Trial court judge said no. Appellate court judge, we'll see.
Yeah, and whoever was going to lose that first round likely was going to bump it up. So Judge Cannone won't be the last word, one could assume. Now, we haven't heard that they've appealed it yet, but one would think that that is coming. So that January date is likely in flux for her retrial. She is out on bail during this time period. So for the defense, really time is on their side. The longer things drag out, the better for the defense. That's typically, what the strategy, because everything fades over time, and including witness recollection,
What the fuck is
etc.
this guy
Your
talking
take
about?
overall on this case, when you look at cases that they get some notoriety, they're on court TV and people watch it for a little bit, and you see people get invested. Absolutely, our viewers are invested in most of the cases, but this was different. This was different for so many reasons. The investment level is off the charts. You bring up Karen Read and you're going to have two different opinions with the exact same evidence. And people see it differently. What is it about this case, Eric, in your opinion, of why a civil trial a civil case has been filed? That's breaking news on court. Why? Because people are interested in Karen Read.
Yeah, I hear you. And the case has been very polarizing, no question about it. I think there's a lot of societal pressure on both sides now because it's such a well-known case. The police are saying, hey, we've got another shot at this. We've got to take it because everyone's watching us. And whereas Karen Read's supporters are saying they're really going to go after her again after they essentially didn't win the first time. That's ludicrous. And so I think that, a part of it comes down to perhaps the state overcharged it a little bit. Perhaps a mistake was made on Karen Read's behalf, and perhaps that there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. So it's got so many moving parts: corruption, death, police departments, and I think that has really captivated really all of America who's watching this case.
Yeah, it is a fascinating case, and that's an understatement. So again, the breaking news.
Totally. Yeah. See, this guy gets it, man.
At this hour, there has been a civil case filed against Karen Read. Also,
I get that he's kind of a dork, but at least he gets it, man.
Against C.F. McCarthy's in the Waterfall, those two restaurants where Karen Read and John O'Keefe were drinking, and the O'Keefe family is filed a lawsuit against Karen Read. Her trial date on the criminal side still set for January. We'll see what transpires as we continue to monitor that case.
All right. Okay, so yeah, man, this is fucking wild, dude. Hold on, let me take a look at this real quick. Now, I'm not going to share this. I've got the lawsuit right here. Here, and I'll share so that you see that that's what I'm reading. Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Paul O'Keefe is personal representative of the estate of John Joseph O'Keefe. And this is the defendants of the Waterfall Bar and Grill in this one right here. So I'm not gonna like keep it up on the screen because it has the names of John's niece and nephew, which I know it's kind of common knowledge. Most people know those names already, and that's fine, but I prefer not to share them on my channel. They're minors, and I want to respect that. But I am going to read it Um, well, I'm not gonna what? No, I'm in the middle of a live, but unless I mean, but let me just go ahead and read this. Yeah, thank you, Cherry. And no, I'm not gonna snipe his stream. Again, like if you guys want to jump over there, that's totally cool. You can catch the replay. It'll still be up. It'll be fine. I won't be upset at anybody. Um okay, so it says here that the party's jurisdiction, the plaintiff Paul O'Keefe, is a surviving brother of the late John O'Keefe. And John, or the descendant, is the duly appointed personal representative of the estate of John Joseph O'Keefe III, who died on or about January 29th, 2022, at all relevant. At all relevant times, material hereto, the descendant resides in Canton, Norfolk County, Massachusetts. At all relevant times, material hereto, the plaintiff Paul resided in West Bridgewater, Plymouth County, Massachusetts. Now, I'm going to do my very best to censor myself when it comes to family members' names and you know, like people's addresses and shit like that. I as I'm reading these things, I'm reacting to them. So there slip ups sometimes, and I really try to watch them. Hopefully I don't, but I apologize in advance if I accidentally slip a child's name or, you know, an address or something like that. So the plaintiff, John O'Keefe II, is the surviving father of JJ and Kristen. At all, God, see, I just did that. All relevant times, material hereto, the plaintiff, John H., resided at 1 Meadows Avenue, Canton, Norfolk County, Massachusetts. The plaintiff, Margaret O'Keefe, is a surviving mother. At all relevant times, material hereto, the plaintiff, Margaret, resided at Meadows Avenue, Canton, Norfolk County, Massachusetts. The plaintiff, Kaylee Furbush, is the surviving niece. Jesus, God damn it. Okay, so I guess he's suing in their name as well, and I'm slipping with the names, and I apologize. At relevant times, material hereto, the plaintiff was under the guardianship of John and resided in Canton, Norfolk County, Massachusetts. At all relevant times, the defendant, CNC Hospitality, LLC, CF McCarthy's, as an independently owned restaurant with a usual place of business at 614 Washington Street, Canton, Norfolk County, Massachusetts. CF McCarthy's. McCarthy's had a resident agent, Stephen B. Carey, and blah, 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 blah. Massachusetts. CF McCarthy's presently appears to be operated by G&S Hospitality, LLC, whose date of organization was 4/24/23. McCarthy's has the same location, business, the same resident agent, blah, 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 blah. And I just want to skip past all that. That's just the locations and who owns it. I don't care about any of that. I don't think any of us do either. Yeah, I know. I totally slipped. I'm sorry about that. That's why I give the disclaimers, because I know I'm gonna fuck up, and I try not to. But I mean, I really, really, really try not to. Respected over 8 years, tragic passing, raised and supported his niece and nephew. After the tragic death of JJ, Margaret took guardianship custody of her grandchildren. At all relevant times on or before January 29th, 2022, JJ and defendant Reed were in a dating relationship. In the months, weeks, and days leading up to January 29th, 2022, JJ and defendant Reed's relationship was deteriorating. During such time, defendant Reed picked fights, experienced jealousy, and had delusions of unfaithfulness. On or about January 28th, 2022, defendant Reed knew that her relationship with JJ had run its course. Okay, now, before I continue that, it says here that the relationship was deteriorating, and during such time, defendant Reed picked fights, experienced jealousy, and had delusions of unfaithfulness. Okay? Delusions of unfaithfulness. Okay? Now, that's possible. I wouldn't call them delusions. I think that that's a really fucked up way to put it. But I believe that in the early morning hours of January 29th, 2022, when she was calling his phone and leaving voicemails, there was accusations of infidelity. There was accusations of him being unfaithful, but that doesn't mean that she was deluded into thinking that that was the case. I think that she was saying whatever she needed to say to elicit a strong enough emotional response from him in order to get a response from him, in order to get him to respond to her. So she threw these accusations out there, and I would think that they were so ridiculous, and she knew they were so ridiculous that she thought that they were so ridiculous if he called that it would make him call her back and go, "Hey, what the fuck is wrong with you? You think I'm cheating? What the fuck is wrong with you?" So I'm not of the opinion that Karen Reed was deluded into thinking that he was cheating. I think that she used him cheating, or used the idea of him cheating, to elicit an emotional response from him because he wasn't answering his phone. That's what I think. But this is being twisted. This is absolutely being twisted. In the months, weeks leading up, the defendant Reed's relationship was deteriorating. Okay, I already read that. On or about January 28th, 2022, defendant Reed knew that her relationship with JJ had run its course. On January 28th, 2022, at or about 8:51 p.m., plaintiff arrived at CF McCarthy's. CF McCarthy's was licensed to distribute, sell, or serve alcohol. On January 28th, 2022, at or about 8:58 p.m., CF McCarthy served Reed an alcoholic beverage. Reed consumed said drink. Alcoholic beverages to defendant Reed at or about 9:13 p.m. On January 28th, 2022, McCarthy's, through its agents, servants, or employees, served at 10:22 p.m. and 10:29 p.m. Reed consumed such drinks. CF McCarthy's, through its agents, servants, and employees, served defendant Reed 7 alcoholic drinks between 8:58 and 10:29 p.m. on January 28th, 2022. During all relevant times at or before 10:29 p.m. on January 28th, 2022, defendant Reed showed signs of intoxication while at CF McCarthy's. Wow. Okay. On January 28th, 2022, at or about 10:40, JJ and defendant Reed left CF McCarthy's. On January 28th, 2022, at or about 10:40 p.m., defendant Reed was allowed to carry her alcoholic drink out of CF McCarthy's. Okay, so this is where they're trying to sue. Now, remember, they're not suing Karen here in this document. Not in this document. In this document, they're suing CF McCarthy's. CF McCarthy's, and what they're trying to do here is they're playing the angle that they let her leave with a drink. And that she showed signs of intoxication. They're accusing CF McCarthy's of this. Now, what this does, happening before, and this is just a thought, but this civil case happening before now, obviously, this won't go to trial before the criminal trial starts in January, but what this does, though, is if these people are deposed before, it doesn't even matter if they're deposed. It doesn't even matter. Now that they're being sued, you'll never get the patrons of CF McCarthy's to testify that Karen Reed was intoxicated. You'll never get them to back up that claim because now they're being sued for
allowing her to get intoxicated, for enabling her intoxication, for being the cause of her intoxication. They're being sued for it. So now they're not going to be strong witnesses for the prosecution. That's a prosecution witness right there that could be helpful down the drain on count 2. Right? So that right there, they're basically sealing count 2 to be unanimous along with counts 1 and 3 as not guilty. Auntie Bev's verdict form. Thank you so much. Paul just opened a huge can of worms. He totally did. Classy Paul, you just threw the McAlberts under the bus like cheap polyester suits. Get fitted. Depositions incoming. Right. Thank you so much, Auntie Bev's verdict form. Totally agree. Now, this is really interesting. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Think about that for a second. Now, the prosecution is not going to use anybody who works for CF McCarthy's. I mean, like, now count 2 is fucked. Because there's no way that any patron or owner or manager, nobody that works for CF McCarthy's is going to testify that Karen Read was intoxicated. They're just not going to do it now. Because they risk losing a lawsuit. It's just never going to happen. This is fascinating. This is all good for Karen so far. It goes on to say defendant Read walked into Waterfall carrying a drink from CF McCarthy's. At all relevant times on January 29, 2022, while at Waterfall, defendant Read showed signs of intoxication. Between 10:54 p.m. and 11:54 p.m. on January 28, 2022, defendant Waterfall served Read 1 shot and 1 mixed alcohol drink. Read consumed such drinks. On January 29, 2022, at approximately 12:10 a.m., defendant Read left the Waterfall. On January 29, 2022, at approximately 12:11 a.m., JJ left Waterfall. At all relevant times, January 29, 2022, between 12:11 a.m. and 12:36 a.m., defendant Read was under the influence of alcohol and unable to drive a motor vehicle safely. Okay, so let's get into this for a second here. Between 10:54 and 11:54 p.m. on January 28, 2022, they served her 1 shot and 1 mixed alcohol drink. So she was served 2 drinks, according to this, at the Waterfall Bar and Grill, right? They're suing the Waterfall for allowing her to drive. So according to the Waterfall, right? According to what is being said happened at the Waterfall, right? She had a total of 3 drinks. As far as the Waterfall Bar and Grill is concerned, at best, she had a total of 3 drinks. They can't testify as to what was in the first drink because they didn't serve it to her. They have no idea what was in the first drink because she walked in with it from another establishment. So that's that 1 drink. So now it's down to 2 drinks that the Waterfall Bar served Karen Read. And what does anyone say when they get pulled over by a cop and a cop asks, "Did you have anything to drink tonight? And if so, how much did you have to drink?" How much did you have to drink? 2 drinks. 2 drinks. So that they don't, so that they could basically play off the fact that a cop is going to smell alcohol on them so that they can't deny that they had some alcohol, but 2 drinks is not enough. It's a low enough amount to be able to get a warning and be on your way from the cop. The cop can just be like, go ahead. 2 drinks, fine. You're hoping that that's what happens. But the problem is that everyone says 2 drinks, and then the cops never really fall for that. And they go, okay, I'm going to need you to step out of the car and I'm going to conduct a series of tests to determine whether or not you're sober. That's usually what happens. But the fact of the matter is they're only going to be able to establish that the waterfall served her 2 drinks, and they're going to try to hold her responsible, to try to hold them responsible for the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe. This is never going to fly. They're going to court with 2 drinks. They're suing this person. They're suing this establishment for serving someone 2 drinks and letting them drive. When there's video footage that we saw of the Waterfall Bar and Grill where we can see Karen Read, and there is not one even slightest indication of her being intoxicated. Nothing. I mean, Brian Albert and Brian Higgins sure look intoxicated. I sure hope they were, with all the grab-assing that was going on. The only excuse that I can muster up for that is there's 2 excuses. 1, they were drunk. 2, they're a happy couple. That's okay. That's okay this day and age. They're a happy couple. Brian and Brian. So, I mean, that's okay. But that's the other explanation as to why I would imagine as to they were playing grab ass so openly and flamboyantly in the bar. But the thing is the footage that very same footage that also shows Karen Read isn't showing any signs of intoxication. There's video footage. So where is the signs of intoxication? Where is what is the strategy here of suing the Waterfall Bar and Grill here? I don't understand. She had 2 drinks according to this. The Waterfall served her 2 drinks. So what? You cannot hold them accountable for the death of John O'Keefe in any way, shape, or form. Civil or criminal, you can't do it. Like, this is crazy. At all relevant times on January 29, 2022, defendant Read drove John O'Keefe to the they keep calling him JJ, and I guess it's to humanize John O'Keefe more, which is fine. I'll continue to call him JJ here. But it's also a strategy. It's coming from the same lawyer strategy that they did not want Sandra Birchmore's name mentioned, because they don't want to. They said themselves that they're afraid that it's going to be used to draw sympathy. This is what they're doing here, which is fine. We all want justice for John O'Keefe, but sorry, the Waterfall Bar and Grill is in no way accountable. It says here that they drove to the residence of 34 Fairview Road. Defendant Read and JJ had been in an argument the night of January 28th, 2022 into the early morning of January 29th, 2022. After JJ got out of defendant Read's vehicle in front of 34 Fairview Road on January 29th, 2022, Read drove her SUV and hit JJ. At all relevant times on January 29th, 2022, defendant Read drove her SUV in a state of intoxication. As a result of Read's SUV hitting JJ on January 29th, 2022, JJ was knocked down into the ground in front of 34 Fairview Road, suffered serious injury, and died. After hitting JJ with her SUV, defendant Read fled the scene and returned to JJ's residence at 1 Meadows Avenue. At all relevant times, defendant Read knew that it was snowing, knew there was an impending blizzard, and knew or should have known that leaving JJ outside in the blizzard would likely result in serious injury or death. At all relevant times, when defendant Read drove her SUV and hit JJ, defendant Read failed to use any care to avoid creating an unreasonable risk of harm to the public. I mean, this is just silly, dude. And what the fuck does, I want to know what exactly does the state of Karen and John's relationship have to do with suing the waterfall? That's what I'm curious about. Well, why bring that up? And it might make some sense if they had shown signs of arguing at the waterfall, right? If they were fighting at the waterfall. But what happened before or after the waterfall is not the waterfall's fucking problem. All right, hates corruption. Right on. I'm glad you got your Glare t-shirt and mug. Right on. I'm fascinated by this. I'm fascinated by this because I'm wondering. Again, I can't wait to find out what the law tubers are going to say about this. Because I'm wondering if the O'Keefe just landed on a lawyer's name in the phone book. Because I don't see what the strategy here is. It doesn't make sense to me that they think that they have a case against the waterfall. I mean, they don't even have a case against Karen, but it doesn't make sense that they think that they have a case against Officer John O'Keefe or against Karen Reed, excuse me. They're not liable for her behavior. They're not, though, Ernie Birdie. That's the whole point. I just explained why they're not. A, they only sold her 2 drinks. B, she didn't have any signs of intoxication. C, she didn't seem to have any type of tension with John at the waterfall. Not the waterfall's problem what the state of their relationship is. It's not the waterfall's problem. How is the waterfall supposed to even make decisions based on whether or not there's turmoil in their relationship if they saw no signs of their relationship being in turmoil and they don't even fucking know them? Can and will the FBI step in soon? The FBI can't step in necessarily. The FBI can start handing out indictments on their own case, but they can't step in and take over the Karen Reed case. They can't do that. They don't have the jurisdiction. They don't have the right to do that. That's what makes the United States the United States. Is they just don't have the right to federally intervene in this case. They can conduct their own methods. They can conduct their own methods of investigation into their investigation. So if investigating the death of John O'Keefe is relevant to investigating the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe, well, then that's what they're going to do, which I believe is what the ARCA experts were brought in for, just as just a small part. Again, 3,000 pages, and it's still an open case. I would say by now there's more than 3,000 pages. I would say by now there's a lot more to this case. Civil cases are much easier to prove, but they're also much easier to disprove. Again, we're talking about the death into Boston police officer John O'Keefe and Karen Reed's role in that. That's what we're talking about here, right? And if Paul O'Keefe is trying to prove that Karen Reed is responsible, okay, now, is it easier for him to prove it? Maybe. It's possible if it were true. The problem is that the problem for Paul and the problem with the O'Keefes is that there's so much exculpatory evidence that wasn't even brought up in trial, in her criminal trial. There's so much exculpatory evidence that I just don't see how Paul O'Keefe can win. It doesn't make sense. Well, again, the Sandra Birchmore thing, that's apples and oranges. The civil case with Sandra Birchmore is apples and oranges. It would be comparable if Karen Reed were suing members of the Massachusetts State Police and the Norfolk County DA's office, or even if John O'Keefe's family were suing members of the Boston Police or the Massachusetts State Police and the Norfolk County DA's office. That would make sense. Or members of the Canton Police Department. That would make sense. That would be comparable. Because the thing is Sandra Birchmore has plenty of evidence. Sandra Birchmore's estate has a case against these people. Paul's suing the wrong person. Paul's suing the wrong people. The O'Keefes are suing the wrong people. That's the issue here. When it comes to comparing it to Sandra Birchmore, the difference is that Paul and his family are suing the wrong people. They'll never get this. I mean, I'm not here to say who Karen Reed should sue and who she shouldn't sue. You know, I'm not here to, you know, I don't know if she, the thing is the Reeds, they simply have my respect for fighting this as hard as they're fighting it. This lady has been through enough. I feel terrible. I agree with you, Salvatore. Thank you so much. I feel the same way in that sense is, you know, she's been through so much. Her family's been through so much. I'm not going to criticize any of the Reed family if they decide to just drop off the map and completely disappear after this is all over. I wouldn't blame them one bit. Now, if they start suing a bunch of people, then, you know, I'll be totally in support of that too. Of course. But I'm not going to expect them to. It's not my place to expect them to. It's not my place to say what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Are you fucking retarded? You are fucking retarded. I forgot. So our retarded friend Andrea Vickers is in the chat here. Kind of like Karen wasn't going to trial and she'd be acquitted by lunch. I am saying that Karen Reed, it should have never went to trial. I mean, the lack of evidence dictates that she should have never went to trial. And I love that you're sitting here pointing out 9 out of 12 found her guilty of manslaughter, which would win a civil case. You think that alone would win a civil case? Because the thing is this is how idiots like this think. Because Andrea Vickers is like 9 out of 12 found her guilty of manslaughter, which would win in a civil case, right? But this is the same kind of person that would say that doesn't matter. This is the same person that would tell you that doesn't matter. This is going to trial again because too little, too late, right? Right, Andrea Vickers? Too little, too late. They didn't check the box, and that's why this is going to trial again, right? Isn't that what you think? That justice has been served? That's why there was a mistrial? Well, the same thing on paper would apply in a civil case too. Any decent, halfway decent defense attorney is going to sit there and go, hey, what do you mean 9 out of 12 found her guilty of manslaughter? It doesn't matter if the defense concedes to this now. They've already, their motion to dismiss has been denied. So it doesn't matter what the jury did behind the scenes during deliberation at this point. That's not even up for question anymore. That's why nobody's even fucking talking about it anymore. It's done. The decision's been made. The trial is set for January and it's going to happen. And why? Because the only thing that matters is the fact that there was a mistrial. And that's the only thing that's going to matter to a civil case. They're not going to give a fuck about a 9 to 12 count because a 9 to 12 count technically didn't fucking happen as far as this civil case goes. So just to give you an idea of how these people think, they pick and choose, they cherry pick the information that's convenient for them for their one thought, right? But even her one thought here falls short. It fails. Because Andrea Vickers is willfully ignorant, aka absolutely fucking retarded. So there you go, Andrea Vickers. You got my attention today. I hope that satisfied you, and I hope your bean flicking goes well. So it goes on to say, failed to use any care, avoiding creating an unreasonable risk of harm to the public, voluntarily took an obvious risk under the circumstances, knew or should have known that death or serious injury was reasonably predictable, persisted in a clearly negligent course of conduct over a noticeable period of time, was impatient with reasonable precautions, was deliberately inattentive to the predictable hazards of her actions. Yeah, none of this applies. None of this applies. The Waterfall Bar and Grill are just not accountable. Yeah, they're just not accountable. That's what it boils down to. Yeah, and that too. We still need a unanimous verdict. I love that shit. Yeah. I mean, this is somebody who thinks that canceled Karen is the one of the smartest people alive. That's what you get. There was lots of slut shaming during this trial, and it's still going in and out of the courtroom. I'm surprised Cherry isn't saying anything. Just walked right into that one. Cherry caught that. There's a lot of slut shaming during this trial, and it's still going in and out of the courtroom. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about any slut shaming that's been happening. I don't know of any slut shaming that's been going on. All right. And then it just goes on and on with stuff about and I don't want to again, I'll leave a lot of this other stuff to the law tubers. I mean, they just don't have a case against CF McCarthy's. I just don't. I mean, well, maybe CF McCarthy's, but they don't have a case against the waterfall. That's for sure. Yeah, they just don't have a case against the waterfall. I just don't see how. And then there's emotional distress here. John II suffered severe and profound emotional injuries manifesting in physical symptoms. As a result of observing JJ at the hospital and witnessing the consequences of CF McCarthy's negligence. John's second emotional injuries, severe physical pain, anguish, emotional distress, and other harm were directly and or approximately caused by defendant CF McCarthy's negligence. A reasonable person in the same position as John O'Keefe II at the time of JJ's death would have suffered severe and profound emotional distress. Wherefore, plaintiff demands judgment against the defendant, CF McCarthy, on count 5, plus interest, cost, and other relief or damages. Paul O'Keefe versus CF McCarthy's negligent infliction of emotional distress. The plaintiff repeats, realleges, and incorporates by reference as set forth hereto in their entirety previous paragraphs of the complaint. Paul O'Keefe learned of JJ's admission to the hospital immediately and came upon JJ's body at the hospital shortly thereafter. CF McCarthy's negligence caused the death of Paul's brother, JJ. Paul suffered severe and profound emotional injuries manifesting in physical symptoms as a result of observing JJ at the hospital and witnessing the consequences of CF McCarthy's negligence. Paul's emotional injuries, severe physical pain, anguish, emotional distress, and other harm were directly and or proximately caused by defendant CF McCarthy's negligence. A reasonable person in the same position as Paul O'Keefe at the time JJ's death would have suffered severe and profound emotional distress. Wherever, see, I don't, man, wouldn't this state what the physical symptoms were? I mean, I just think it's bizarre that, like, this is the O'Keefe's attorney. I mean, again, I'm not an attorney, so but I feel like I've read these things before, and usually when they state that there's an emotional and physical symptoms to their emotional distress, they state what those things are. They state incidents where, okay, well, plaintiff Paul O'Keefe was at work on this date, complained to his supervisor that he was having headaches, blah, 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 blah. Usually that stuff is stated in these things. Why is there nothing to say about these things? Why is there just, hey, the dude had a hard time, Your Honor, and it's the bar's fault. I mean, it seems like that's their whole case. I mean, well, okay. I mean, I know you're just saying stuff like you can't get it up. Okay, but even still, he would state that. He would say, well, it's causing problems between me and my wife because due to the emotional distress that I've suffered, it's interfering with our with our dynamic in the bedroom, things of that nature. I mean, these things are usually stated in the filing of a lawsuit. Hell, even though it was full of lies, Bullhorn Betty's lawsuit was more detailed than this. And then, Yeah, this just goes on and on, but it's not. Yeah, it just says suffered emotional injuries, severe physical pain. Physical pain, what kind of physical pain? Brought on by what exactly? How, what physical pain where? I don't understand. What kind of physical pain? I mean, that's really just it. Suffered severe and profound emotional injuries. I mean, what? it doesn't specify anything. Let me do this. All right, let's do this. All right, let's check out their law firm real quick. This is Diller Law. Okay. What the hell? Isn't this supposed to play something? Oh, okay. Here we go.
Diller Law is a personal injury firm started in 1974 by my father.
I thought that was Stephen Wright. K. Billy Super Sounds of the 70s.
As far back as I can remember, I was always interested and intending to be a lawyer. After I graduated from college, I went to law school and immediately started practicing with my father. My story is like any second generation.
K. Billy Super Sounds of the 70s. Diller Law Firm keeps on trucking.
American, but its origin is from my grandparents, who came here after surviving the Holocaust. And they came to this country with the hope that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness actually meant something. And they gave my father opportunity, and through an education, my father was able to get a law degree, and he was able to help people. Well, my father always represented people. He believed in being a people's lawyer, helping people through difficulty or hardship. We represent human beings, and we tell human stories.
I was in a motorcycle crash, and it was a pretty severe crash. I totaled my motorcycle, shattered my wrist, and was ejected 25 feet in the air and bounced off the pavement.
Wait a second. Are these guys fucking ambulance chasers? Are you serious, Paul? You fucking hired ambulance chasers, dude?
We went to trial, and initially the insurance company was just trying to cover my medical expenses. They wanted to compensate me slightly for some lost wages. Mark did a fabulous job. At the end of it, I received a settlement with Mark's assistance that compensated me for what I feel my injuries were. What you should expect from Mark Diller is to hold people accountable for their actions.
My clients were so heroic and inspire us with their fight to overcome adversities. We know that when our clients have been catastrophically injured or family members have lost a loved one, their life has been turned upside down, and they look to lawyers for guidance. We have assembled a very formidable team here. We understand the interplay between law and medicine. We're very fortunate to have Dr. John Naranja, who was a veteran and a former.
Hold on.
We know.
I really gotta drink this shit in. Seriously, I gotta drink this shit in because this is killing me right now. Like, This is such a fucking Jerry Springer will be right back after these moments fucking moment right here, bro. Like, this is the kind of commercial you see like right after a stripper fight in the middle of the day.
Hold people accountable for their actions.
My clients were so heroic and inspire us with their fight to overcome adversities. We know that when our clients have been catastrophically injured or family members have lost a loved one, their life has been turned upside down, and they look to lawyers for guidance.
Bro, the music is killing me.
We have
dude.
assembled a very formidable
Avengers Assemble
team here. We understand the interplay between law and medicine. We're very fortunate to have Dr. John Naranja, who was a veteran and a former.
Let's get John Orange, because that's what his name translates to. Juan Naranja. John Orange is they got John Orange over here, like just posing in front of like, oh look, it's if you take a look, you've got a bone right here, and it broke, and this is why you'll be able to sue somebody for a whole shit ton of money. I'm Dr. Naranja, and this is my testimony.
Dr. John Naranja, who was a veteran and a former practicing doctor who left medicine, went to law school, and then immediately came and started practicing with us.
Thank you, Buzzing for Truth.
You have to meet people where
There
they
it
are.
goes.
Often, injured people are in a dark place.
There we go.
We want to bring them to the light. We understand that you have a choice when you're picking out your personal injury firm. We excel above the others because of our compassion and dedication.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit.
We excel above the others because we have a police scanner, and we don't have to chase the ambulance. We know where it's going.
Of happiness have meaning under our law. And if it's been deprived by the wrongdoing of a corporation or by an individual that has value, they need to be held accountable. And that's our job. We will spend whatever resources are necessary to make sure that justice is done, that we will deliver competent, good advice to them, and that we will not be afraid and will never back down from the fight, but we will stand up for them because their voice should be heard, and they deserve to be on the right side of the law.
Bro, stop it. Stop it. Oh my God, this is just fucking too much. All right, let's take a look here. What do we got here? Our philosophy, Diller Law LLP, is dedicated to helping clients get maximum compensation for their injuries caused by others. We understand the serious impact an injury can have on our life. Aside from the physical pain and suffering you endure, unexpected injuries can leave you and your family in a bind financially, often facing overwhelming medical bills and inability to work. In that time of need, you want someone you can trust to guide you through process. Our experienced personal injury lawyers fight hard to recover millions of dollars each year for our injured clients. If you are faced with an unfortunate, traumatic personal injury or wrongful death, you want to be able to depend on your attorney to provide the most thorough legal attention with full respect for the sensitive nature of the circumstances. We handle all types of personal injury accidents and claims. Ask Dr. John. Because they don't want to say Dr. Naranja. You know, so they say, ask Dr. John. Ask Dr. John. Let's see. What the fuck? Hold on. What we do. We hold wrongdoers accountable
If you or someone in your family has been injured or killed by another's wrongdoing, we can help you seek compensation for your losses and obtain justice. We provide free legal consultations and case evaluations for prospective clients. Our firm never represents insurance companies, and each personal injury attorney in our firm is dedicated solely to the representation of the injured or deceased person. We will work with doctors and hospitals to ensure you're getting appropriate care. We will also make sure you recover for time missed for work. We understand all too well how devastating injuries can be. We pride ourselves on the fact that our clients trust us to recover the money they deserve, to satisfy their ongoing needs, and to provide superior legal services when they cannot help themselves. Are you sleeping on your stripper's couch that broke up with you and she wants to kick you out and you can't mooch off of her anymore? Call our law firm. We'll help you. Is your mom getting ready to refinish her basement and she wants to boot you out? Call our law firm and we'll manufacture an injury, make sure that someone who has nothing to do with your laziness pays and pays through the nose. This is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life, dude. Like, these guys are straight fucking ambulance chasers, bro. Like, what? This is unbelievable. Like, how do the O'Keefes think this is a good look in any way at all? Like, it makes no sense. Unreal, man. This is just crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy. All right. All right. Hold on a second here. The fuck is going on with my internet? Sorry, I'm trying to I want to be able to open the phone lines, but hold on, let me try that again. Oh, the site just won't load. So I don't know. I may not be able to take calls. I don't know. I might take calls. I want to take calls, but I may not be able to. Oh, wait, here we go. Okay, hold on. All right, phone lines are open. Pussy for truth. Thank you so much. I wasn't trying to do a Lally impression. Yeah, mandolin wind. Yeah, you do. That's called a deposition. So yeah.
Call from Lauren.
You're on. Is this Lauren? Oh, you got a weak signal there. Can't hear you.
Oh, lost her.
Call from
Ian.
Okay, still a weak signal. Who am I speaking with? You're on.
Well, this is Ian. Hate corruption. How are
Okay.
you?
And hate corruption. Right on. What's up?
Nothing. I just want to tell you that I know it has nothing to do with today's case and everything we're talking about, but so I am so stoked to get that Glera shirt in the mail, and I want to ask your permission. I'm from Boston. I am going to go to the courthouse and do all the standouts and all that stuff, but I wanted permission from you if I can wear your shirt.
What do you need my permission for? Of course you can wear my shirt. Why would you need my
Well,
permission?
because
It's your shirt
it's
now.
your
You can do
merch.
whatever you want with it. You can clean your toilet with it. Do whatever you want.
Never. Oh, never. And I also need to say, I read a post that Cherry had put up, and not that I'm in crisis, thank God, but I just respect your channel so much because, and I get chills when I say this, I've been watching you since like maybe March, April, and I've learned how to become a member and all that, but she put up a message letting everybody know that if they're in crisis or whatever, she, left a number, and just to know that your channel is a safe place, it's a loving place, and from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that so much because I know there's so many people out there, not only in Boston, have no one to talk to, have nobody to listen to them, and I never see any other YouTubers do this. Like, I love Jumpsuit Pablo. I love a lot of the YouTubers, because of you. And they're all groovy, they're all bad, but they never say that, right? And I just respect you so much. So thank you for being you. Thank you for coffee time. Thank you for getting me through such a hard time. I'm going through a lot. Almost like, not like the Karen Reed case. Definitely 1000% mass corruption, police, DA, mayor of my city. I mean, it's just, you can't make this shit up, dude.
Yeah.
But again, I thank you, and I definitely wanted your permission, like I said, to wear your shirt. And
You
I'm
don't
a
you don't need my
person,
permission.
so I would never like just go stop like crazy stuff with your shirt on. But I respect you and Cherry and all your viewers so much that like I love you, dude.
Once you
just hit home for
once
me.
you purchase that shirt, that's yours to do whatever you do with it. You're free to do whatever you want with it, wear it wherever you want. I mean, that's your shirt. Knock yourself out. But yeah, you don't need my permission. I mean, that's what they're there for. Is so what you can rock
I respect you. and I
rock the
respect
Glera
your
drip.
channel, so.
Yeah, rock the Glera drip
And
wherever you
I,
go. Right on.
And I know you don't like anyone telling you what to do with your channel, and I get this, but this is for Clubber. To suggest Clubber get his own mug?
There are Clubber mugs in the.
Yeah, I seen one, but it had like, and I get it. The A-Team, you remind me of my brothers. Every shirt you wear, it just takes me back to my brothers.
No. Yeah. I mean, I guess you'd have to kind of get the reference, but which is probably why they don't
Yeah,
sell that well.
and I love that and stuff,
Yeah,
dude. It's nostalgic to me.
Well,
I'm
it's not the
A-Team
A-Team.
fan.
It's Clubber. Like it has the greater than. It's like Clubber the boxer from Rocky 3, and then you have Clubber the dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Shame.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be a Rocky fan. I don't. Yeah.
Well, again, my brothers, my son who's 31 just got married. Okay, I was just sticking up for Clubber because he's so adorable, even though he
is.
broke your light. Okay, that's all I had to say.
He
I'll give
didn't
the other
break my
callers.
light. He didn't break my light. Yeah.
Oh, he didn't?
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's good. See.
Okay, because we were about to try to go for me for you for that light.
Oh, I mean, it's the perils of having a puppy. It's going to happen from time to time, things like that.
Yeah.
No biggie.
I have 2 cats and a ferret, and yeah, I know. They get into everything. They're worse than children. All right, man. Again, I'm sorry this had nothing to do with your today, but I just wanted to ask your permission with that because I got the black shirt with the bright groovy Glera on the front.
Right.
And I'm so stoked to get it. I'm just gonna like never change out of it. I want everybody to watch the Glera because you and Cherry and all I know you got a lot of people from Boston there. Like, right on, man. And I've been saying that because of my brother. So when you see me put that up, I'm not mocking you.
No, it
You're,
means the
groovy,
world to
rad,
me.
Love you and all of the whole, just everything you do. You have respect and prayers, blessings. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. That was really sweet. I'm really glad I made my day. I appreciate your call. Thank you.
And I just have to say I'm not a creeper, I'm not a stalker, but I love your shirts, but that gray with that blue brings out those blue eyes. You are so handsome. And again,
Okay.
Terry, don't block me. Nobody block me. You are hot.
Okay. Thank you.
And listen, again, I'm not a stalker. That's not why I want you and Terry to come to Boston, but if you ever do, and I heard last night why you don't see you're coming to Boston because of that fat creep, the blonde bitch. I need to know when you guys are coming to Boston, yeah, because you're like, you're just an idol to me. Like, you're just the best, and I so appreciate that you don't put kids on there, and I love you, you're real, and I love Cherry too.
I appreciate
but you guys
it.
got a place to stay here.
Okay. Thank you
You can
so
even
much.
do a Corey on me.
Okay.
And if it helps out, my son is a police officer, but he's not a corrupt one.
Well,
So-
that's a relief. Thank you.
Well, that's because he was raised from a good mom. We single moms raise the best men.
Okay.
And if he ever knew that I was on this channel talking, which he'll know my voice, he's gonna call me later and be like, "Ma, you're blocked."
Oh man.
All right, guys, I love you so much. Love you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Bye-bye. Right. All right. Somebody else call, please. No, that was really sweet. It was just, I never handle things like that well.
Call from
Linda.
Linda, you're
Hi.
on. How are you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
I
How are
watch
you?
you. I'm good. I watch you every day, and I have been following you, and of course, the other bloggers. And I wanted to ask you a question. I've heard this, and I don't know if it's true or not, and you have more insight on it. I heard on another program that Brian Albert's wife has filed for divorce. Do you know if that's true?
No idea. No idea.
Well, and then the other thing that I've heard on another program is that the FBI have gotten the tools that they used to dig up the house.
Yeah, that came from Sean McDonough. I reposted it. I don't know.
Yes, I watched the show and I heard it, and I just wanted to verify if you had heard the same thing.
I don't know any more than you do about that, honestly. But I find Sean McDonough to be very credible, and I find his sources to be very credible, at least so far. So if he says that that's the case, and he's going to go all out and say something like that and post something like that, well, then I'm going to assume there's some truth to it.
I believe him too. I mean, he seems like he has, the connections to find out these things.
Right.
And every time he's on, I watch him as well. All of you main people, I watch all of these. I've been following the Karen Reed trial from the beginning, so I'm really invested in it, and I keep up on it every day with all of you as much as I can. And I just want to tell you that I'm one of those old girls, but I enjoy your show. I think you're fantastic, and you really give me a good laugh sometimes.
Right on. I'm glad. I'm just here to entertain, so I'm glad you enjoy it. Right on.
Well, thank you so much, and I won't keep you because I know there's other people wanting to speak with you as well.
Right on. Thank you for calling. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye.
Call from
Fishing Dave.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
You are speaking with Fishing Dave.
Fishing Dave? Dave?
Yeah, Dave's channel.
Dave's channel. Okay. What's up, Dave's channel?
What's up, brother? How you been?
I've been good. How are you?
Hanging in there, my friend.
Right
Just
on.
Following along like the rest of us.
Right on. Somebody's
Geez, I don't know how to follow. I don't know how to follow up that last call. There was a lot of good things said there. Took all the stuff right out of my mouth.
well, it means a lot. And I see Kelly Reed is in the chat. Kelly Reed, happy birthday to your uncle. Yeah, how you doing, Dave? Any thoughts on everything that's been being said here today, or what's up?
I think Paul should just keep his mouth shut and concentrate on the real killers.
Right.
You know, the real killers, not just, you know, pointing the finger at some woman and it's just awful, dude. It's just a shit show. Yeah.
It's
so
just weird that
basically,
it's just weird that he aligns himself so closely with them. You know, like I can understand him just being like, you know what, there's not enough evidence, you know, and I don't feel comfortable. But you know, I mean, I'd still be somewhat critical of that, but at the same time, you know, it's one thing to just be like, okay, well, you know, they're kind of shady, and I'd rather just distance myself from everybody. But that's not what he's doing. He's like aligning himself. He's bringing them in as guests to help intimidate the jury. It's bizarre.
that is mighty bizarre. I think that like he has a stronghold on his parents too, kind of. I don't know. It seemed like John's mom was more focused with the prosecution, and it seemed like his dad was more leaning with the defense a little bit. And he had conversation with Turtle Boy, I believe, right?
I that's something you'd have to ask Turtle Boy. I don't know.
Oh yeah, but it seemed to me like that Paul has a stronghold on how they aim their views, kind of. I don't know. It's really sad to see Mr. O'Keefe have to sit through that trial.
I know that they had a conversation supposedly via like or direct message, and it came off like a drunk call or whatever. Like he was drunk and he was, you know, texting with him, and then they started talking about playing golf and shit. I don't know what. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if it was really him. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I think that's what you're referring to. I honestly,
that is what I'm. Yeah, that was what I was referring to.
I have no idea as to the credibility of that, or you know. Now, I don't think that Turtle Boy was making it up. What I think, what I'm wondering is whether or not it was actually Paul O'Keefe is the question. I don't think Turtle Boy is even 100% sure, but.
Just disgusting, man.
Yeah,
really, it's embarrassing more than anything. I would be extremely embarrassed not to be siding with knowing what we know now, knowing what's going on, and knowing what's going to happen. Like round 2 is going to happen.
Right.
Like he's making himself look more like an ass every day.
Right.
And now it's worldwide. So now you're a worldwide ass.
Yeah, I mean, Court TV didn't take long at all to break that news. You know, I mean, as soon as it's filed, it's on Twitter, and then Court TV does a segment on it, puts it out there. Then I go live, and Turtle Boy goes live, and you know, so and it's all over the place now. But the same questions seem to be coming from everywhere. Is how do they expect to win? I mean, I don't see how they're going to win against the case against Karen Reed, but the Waterfall Bar and Grill, I mean, CF McCarthy's maybe, but but the Waterfall, I don't see how there's even remotely a case. I mean, these ambulance chasers they're not going to be able to beat whatever lawyer the Waterfall Bar and Grill is going to be able to hire. You know what I mean? They're going to be no match. Like when I'm reading this, I'm going, who the fuck are these lawyers? Like, are they, you know? And then of course I had to Google them, and sure enough, they're fucking ambulance chasers, dude. Like, what? the fuck?
It's embarrassing.
Right.
It's embarrassing,
Like,
dude.
what are you
It's
doing, Paul?
embarrassing.
What are you doing, Paul? You know, and I want to.
Yeah.
I want to side with Paul. I really do. You know, I don't like feeling this way about the family of a family member of a victim. I hate feeling this way about the family member of a victim. But the bottom line is, he just makes it impossible for me to take his side here and to back him up and to hoist him up. He makes it impossible.
I don't know which direction he seems to be going in, but it's a distraction to the case. That's for sure. This is a distraction.
Right.
Like, you know, like an on purpose kind of distraction. Like he's doing this on purpose to cause distraction from who? Who's he distracting? Like who is it he's trying to distract from? You know, like, man, Jesus Christ, when does it end? Like acquittal. That's when it ends.
I mean, it'll end at some point. You know, I mean,
acquittal. Yeah,
it'll end at some point, but we got a long road. Because you know, the Karen Reed thing has to play out. Then the Sandra Birchmore thing has to play out. I mean, it's you know, it's a long fight. It's going to be a long fight, guys.
Hey, while you just mentioned Sandra Birchmore, while I got you on the phone here, I want to send a big shout out to all the people gathering down in Stoughton Center. I took a ride down there the other day, and those people are out there, rain,
there's a
sleet, snow, shine.
standout. Yeah, there's a standout going on today, isn't there, for Sandra Birchmore?
Yeah. Yep. So, true patriots, every one of them that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep the fight. Keep up the fight. Keep up the fight. We're united, strong, peaceful.
Agreed. Yeah.
Peaceful protest. Don't get up. If you listen, I don't go to some of these because I might get a little out of control. I'll be honest with you. I'm sticking by the whole shit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to show up and I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. So I just go fishing.
That's where I'm at. Like I have no, like I'm quite certain that I can, you know, maintain composure, you know, but I mean, somebody like JLR gets in my face. I don't know, man. Like Turtle Boy was a fucking,
you just said it.
Turtle Boy. Like if I didn't see how Turtle Boy handled it, I probably don't know if I would have known how to handle it, because that dude is really, really bad, man. Like, and I take things personally because he's attacked like my family and shit online, you know? So,
yeah, I know.
So I don't,
know.
you know what I mean? So it's tough, you know?
I do.
That guy, if that guy showed up and got in my face screaming the way that he does, I don't know. You know, I don't know.
If you did that to me, Will, I'll be honest with you, I might have to give him an old Brockton, Massachusetts sewer cover beating. It just might have to come to. It might have to come to one of those circumstances.
A sewer cover beating.
Wow. All right, listen. I'm gonna let you go, brother. I'm with you, 100%. Every live stream, I try to get in here.
Yeah, man.
Usually fishing.
I love it. Thanks, Dave.
Usually fishing, catching fish. Hey, I leave shorts and videos for you and Tom on YouTube. Hashtag the Glera.
Okay.
100%. Check them out. It's all fishing stuff, cool stuff. I listen to you live stream while I'm fishing. I record you while talking and catch fish and have a good time.
I love it, man. So I'm not scaring the fish off while you're listening, am I?
Fuck no, dude.
All right, cool.
No, sir.
Dude,
sir.
I'm the fisherman whisperer, people. You hear that shit? Do you understand? Okay, I should sell fucking lures.
Hey, do it in your best Mass accent, and then I'm gonna hang up.
Yeah.
Have a good day, brother.
All right. Buy some fucking Glera lures. All right. Go to the Glera shop and get some Glera lures. I don't have any Glera lures, but.
Call from
Moxie-Rillo 77.
Who 77? What?
Oh, hello?
Yes.
Is this Will?
Yes, you're on. Who am I speaking with?
Okay. My name is Shelly. So, I've never called before. But
Okay.
I just want to say hi, and I have been with you since Chris Watson, the Critical K days.
Oh my God.
I know.
I'm
But
hanging
you
up.
girls
I'm hanging
and
up. Bye.
No,
I'm
you're
just
not. No, you're not.
Okay.
Hey, it's amazing. You've done amazing, and I'm just what you've done for Karen Reed. So I started following Karen Reed back in January or June of last year, and I am so passionate about it. My family doesn't understand, but I just want to say about this new lawsuit. Stop it! Come on, stop it! And then my other thing, if you don't mind, is throughout everything in the investigations and stuff, the inverted videos, all the pictures missing, everything, and Google searches. The one thing that matters is they never called to save him, and they could have, and they could have saved his life. They let a man die, so
Right.
that's just awful.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Like, I mean, I don't understand how Paul O'Keefe can like align himself with people who he knows just slept through their family member dying. They could have helped him and they didn't.
No.
Why didn't they?
And then
Why isn't he questioning that?
No, they could have called, and everybody knows it happened at the house. And I don't know if we're ever gonna get justice for Operation John O'Keefe, but I hope that I don't know who they believe in, and when they die, they meet their maker. They have a lot of explaining to do for what they've done. So that's what I think about. So it gets me through. But thank you.
Hey, thank you, Shelly. I appreciate you calling.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Good day. Bye.
Call from Mary.
Call from who? You're on who?
Mary.
Carrie?
Mary.
Mary. How we doing, Mary?
Good. Is this Will?
This is. Why you bugging?
Why am I bugging?
Never mind. Go ahead. What's up, Mary?
God, you sound so different on the phone. It's like, who the hell is this? I got you. So I'm from Washington, and I didn't know crap about this case. And this is wild, crazy bullshit. And so now with this filed, I was thinking about the lawsuit. First of all, everybody has to go to the depot. And the bar, how do they know Karen is driving John home? How would they know that?
That's a good point. So yeah, what do they suggest that? Yeah, that's a great point as far as the CF McCarthy's goes, because they're the only ones who even stand a chance of losing one of these lawsuits. They're the only ones that the O'Keefes have a chance of winning against. But the fact is you're right. How are they supposed to determine? Are they supposed to ask? Is there a law in place where the bartender has to ask who's driving, or if someone is driving every time they serve them a drink? No.
No.
Right. So why are they? How are they trying to hold her accountable? Or hold them accountable for not holding Karen Reed accountable if they didn't know that she was driving? It's a great point.
So I have one other thought, maybe a crazy one, but maybe Paul woke up on the right side of the bed. Let's just pretend for 1 second, and they're going to sue. So everybody has to give a depo in this case, and I'm a big law tuber, and my daughter's a lawyer. So these people have to go and tell the truth. Maybe, just maybe, they're going to find out what Lally has been hiding from them. Because a lot of these things are going to be not stopped by anybody in the room. They have to tell the truth. Jen won't make it through a depo. She just won't. They'll have cops ready to lock her up. So maybe they're trying to get to the bottom of it, but they're going back asswards as they typically do. And I just think it's crazy. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. They're going to find out stuff they probably don't want to know. They've been sitting next to who I consider the murderers. I know they're innocent, but what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, this lawsuit is one of the most pointless things that I've ever seen. It's like, I don't understand what you're trying to pull here. Because, I mean, what it does is it just makes them look greedy. That's what it does. It makes them look like they're after money, not justice. That's what it looks like, because there's no justice to be had by suing the establishments that John and Karen drank at. There's no justice to be had.
Now, I bartended for years when I was a young person, and yeah, that's just stupid. The bartenders are going to protect Karen. They don't want to go to jail for overserving her, for any of them. And the receipts, I think the receipts for like $56.10 for drinks. How the hell, where can you buy drinks, 9 drinks for $56.10?
Well, I mean, the thing is it depends. Sometimes a bartender, in order to get a bigger tip, will be like, hey, 2 of those are on me, you know.
Yeah,
they do that sometimes. It actually happens quite often. So I mean, it does happen. So as far as that goes, I'm not gonna put too much thought into how much the receipt was and how many drinks were had. The bottom line is that they can't prove that I mean, again, if they served Karen 7 drinks, they can't assume that she's driving, you know. And the fact is
people
that
call it Uber. I mean, no,
sure,
they
right,
didn't know what she was going to do. It's crazy.
right.
I'm pissed. I'm sorry. I don't have clear thoughts, but I know there's other people trying to get through. I want to thank you for one other thing besides your show and finding you. You let me know about that creep GLR and Marissa yesterday, and I've spotted them. I think I've watched Marissa like once, but I think it's really
Well, if you
informative.
followed the Watts thing, then you know about Marissa, you know. Yeah.
No, I didn't follow that. I
Wow,
think it
really?
was that guy who was in a nursing home thing, and she accused the wife of killing him or something, and she called the parents. And
Oh, you're talking about the Drea.
Yeah.
I already forgot. Yeah, that poor
I didn't
woman.
really follow it.
Yeah, that poor woman's
But I've
been through
seen
enough.
people. Yeah, you're a great PSA for all of us people, you know, surfing the YouTubes that are old and don't know shit. So I really appreciate it and everything you're doing for Karen. So
Oh, right
I'll let
on.
other people get through. Thanks so much, Will.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for calling. And thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Call from
G&M Services.
G&M Services, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I fix cars for a living, and all I can say about the whole case. Oh.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Hey, listen, I didn't know you were still there. That tail light, the video in the morning when she leaves the house and bumps John's car. When she leaves, that thing's red. In the picture in court, that light, it clearly has no red left on it. If they turned it on, it would be white. So I've been a mechanic for a long time, and that's all I can tell you is that would tell me not guilty. She never hit him with a car, and the tail light being found there is all BS.
Right. Yeah, you're saying that it would be all white. There just wouldn't be a little hint of it if the taillight broke to the degree that the prosecution is saying it would. That's what you're
Right,
saying.
the picture in court, there was no red left. It would be pure white. It looked like a headlight, not a tail light. So,
Huh.
been watching you and a few of the other things, and love your channel, and that's about all I had to say.
Oh man, that means a lot. Thank you for calling and thank you for that insight. Because yeah, that's when I hear somebody who actually knows and works on cars, say things like this, then it's very validating. Yeah, because I don't work on cars, but common sense kind of dictates. I mean, and the plastic on that is hard. Now I know that you're not a doctor, but I can't imagine that taillight shattering to the point to where they're saying it did off of his what, elbow, and
Yes.
causing those injuries. It makes no sense that he would do that. It doesn't take a doctor to make this assessment. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. It's common sense.
Well, if it was still on the car at 5 o'clock in the morning, it can't be in the lawn at 12:30 in the morning. Previous, unless somebody had a time machine.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean, it just that one fact they could have saved 10 weeks of trial. I just should have got up there and lit that light up for them with a couple of pieces of wire and a battery.
That's a good point. Yeah, you could have just been like, "Hey, look, this is how much they're saying." It broke off the tail light. Now, why? Right? Okay. Yeah, I
And
see.
there was none of it left in the picture.
You just bring a battery and you bring a hook up to the light, and yeah, that's you could have totally done that in the courtroom. 100%. Yeah. That's awesome. I appreciate you calling. Thank you, man.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was a great call. Great callers today, man.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Lee.
Lee, what's up, Lee?
Hey, what's up, man? I just got a question for you. The Canton deputy chief that lives across the street, right?
Right.
They have the ring camera.
Mm-hmm. The one we
Why
never
nobody
saw.
never? Yeah. Why no one ever questions what happened with that?
Well, everybody's questioning it. Just nobody who was in a position to question it, to get justice, questioned it. So that's a great question. We're all asking that very same question. Why didn't they canvass for ring light footage, or for ring camera footage? Excuse me.
Right. I
And
just don't understand.
and why didn't the
Go ahead.
deputy chief? Why didn't that police officer volunteer his? Why didn't they subpoena it? Why didn't they? I mean, you're right. We're all asking that very same question. You're absolutely right.
That is the weirdest thing ever, man. Like, I don't understand it. Just and then what else? Oh yeah, and I brought it like when Brian Higgins was when they were talking when he was leaving, and they were grabbing him, and it looked like he was talking to John.
Right.
There's nobody in the bar that they can get to see exactly what was being said and what was going on.
Yeah, I agreed. I have to wonder, I still to this day wonder why that was never brought up in trial. And I wonder if it's because it wasn't allowed to be let in. Maybe, because they had people on their witness list that they never called. The defense did. So I don't know. I don't know what happened with that. I still am baffled by why that verbal altercation or that verbal exchange between Higgins and John O'Keefe was not only not brought up, but it seemed to be almost avoided. They asked Higgins about it, and they asked at least Chris Albert about it, and Chris Albert was like, "No, nothing. There was nothing like that." And then the defense just moved on. It's almost as if they didn't know about that, and it went under their radar, or they for some reason weren't allowed to bring it up. But I don't remember a motion being filed, and I don't remember that being discussed in pretrial that they couldn't talk about that. So I'm stuck on that myself. I don't know why they didn't bring it up.
But see, Karen would know, exactly what was being said. But she still, or did she leave after when they were? She was still in there, right?
Yeah.
When Brian Higgins was talking, she was still there.
Right. And Jen McCabe was in her ear the whole time talking to her.
Do you think that he was talking to John O'Keefe?
Do I think that what?
Do you think that Brian Higgins was talking to John O'Keefe?
I do. I do believe that. I believe he was. He was the only person that evidence dictates he would have had some sort of, physical testosterone-driven beef with, and he's yelling across the bar, and the only male across the bar looking at him is John. So, I think John O'Keefe or Brian Higgins was absolutely talking to John O'Keefe in that footage that we see.
I think they probably discussed. Karen probably discussed with John O'Keefe about that situation, and he probably, when that text happened, when he texted her while they were at the bar, he probably saw that. John O'Keefe probably saw that, and she probably told him, and he probably said something.
Maybe
about it.
Maybe he said something. Maybe he made a comment. Higgins overheard it. I don't know. I don't know. We'll never know because there's no audio. So
right, but they gotta get somebody's witnessing that bar. Somebody in there knows.
Somebody heard something. Unfortunately, everybody except for Karen testified on behalf of the prosecution and lied. So if we get a story from anybody who was at that bar, none of their testimonies are credible. So anything that they say is not going to be credible. You know what I mean? So we're never going to know what was said. We'll never know for sure what was said in that exchange between Brian Higgins and John O'Keefe at the bar.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
Well, all right.
It is crazy.
Yeah, it's the weirdest trial I ever seen in my life.
Same here, man.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Hey, thanks for calling. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. Excellent callers today. Appreciate you guys. And Buzzing for Truth says he never came out of the house either. Auntie Bev says now presides. Auntie Bev says, Sue Bone says Auntie Bev now presides over civil cases. It's great. Yellow Truth Seeker says happy Monday. And then there's a super sticker from Tara Boston. Thank you so much. And then I'm just a girl said, I can't help but wonder if this is so Karen can't sell her story. If she loses the civil suit. I don't know. That's why can't she sell? I mean, she can sell her story. She wouldn't be able to if she's convicted.
The girl. To accept, press 1. Call from Nikki Johnson. To accept, press 1.
Nikki Johnson, you're on.
Oh, holy shit. I made it through.
Right on.
I'll make this quick. Like, when I read this, I thought my head was going to explode. I mean, truly, I really did. I'm livid. But, I mean, I've been following true crime for a few years, and I have never, and at first, I felt sorry for the O'Keefe. I did. But at the end of the day, they just started acting so tacky and bitter and angry.
They're making it hard to feel bad for them, aren't they?
Yes. And especially okay, Paul, I don't know what he's got going on. He's angry about life in general, okay? But the fact that, number one, they're going to sue the bars after he got drunk and almost killed somebody to begin with. What a hypocrite. Number two, Peggy's going around flipping people off. I know that she's flipped off Turtle Boy, but I've also heard, I've seen it, that she's even flipped off the defense team. That's just tacky.
Yeah, I agree, because I wouldn't even believe, the only reason I believe that Paul O'Keefe actually DM'd Turtle Boy that one time is based on his behavior. That's the only reason that I even would believe it. Besides, I mean, what the fuck's he thinking?
I mean, it's just gross behavior to begin with. And then I think about, like, you know, them saying that she was drinking. Okay, well, all of her little, everybody, even like the McAlberts, they're like, oh yeah, she acted fine, she wasn't drunk. And something else that's not been mentioned, if I'd like to point out, is the fact that, you know, every voicemail that she left for John, not once did anybody say, oh, her words are slurring. Okay. No, that never
No,
happened.
they
And
didn't. Yeah, they never proved that she was drunk. I personally think that she was drunk. Personally, I mean, I don't think just because somebody slurs their words, it doesn't. Somebody doesn't slur their words doesn't mean they're not drunk. But you know, the fact that the thing is that it's going to be really hard for them to prove that she was drunk. When everyone who testified against her stated that she didn't appear intoxicated at all. So how are the bars supposed to be held accountable for that? If people already testified under oath that she didn't seem intoxicated, how do they expect to hold these bars accountable? Makes no sense.
Okay, well, you know what? At the end of the day, it's because they know they won't. Okay, this Paul is acting like a 12-year-old who can't get his cake. You know, like he's just mad. He's mad at the world because he looks like an ass.
Right.
Like, he's like grasping at straws. And then, like, whatever attorney took this on, they're there for, you can call it a money grab, but at the end of the day, let's face it, they're just there for headlines and notoriety. And the attorneys that took that on, that's the only reason why.
Oh,
because
for
they don't,
sure.
They don't. Yeah.
Because I mean,
they have nothing.
let's also point out the likelihood, not just the possibility, but the likelihood that the reason why they've got these ambulance chasers on the case is because no other law firm, no credible law firm would probably take the case. No credible law firm.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine one that would. I can't, like I said, I can't wait to hear what the law tubers have to say about this.
I exactly. Yeah, me too. I was thinking that too. And it's so funny is because I was, you know, like doing stuff around the house and, you know, I listen to YouTube, I do whatever around the house and stuff. And then I kind of saw something where Turtle Boy had posted that and I was like, what? And I was like, oh my God, they did not. I couldn't believe it. Like, y'all, that was bad. And the hardest part for me, like right now, is like I live in boring ass Indiana. Also, on Bukkakis missing dentures. Yeah. I think I've been around for a minute. But the hardest part for me is like living in boring ass Indiana, and like I have nobody that really even know. Like I don't know that like really gets into true crime like I do in this case. And I'm like griping at my husband.
I like it that way, man. I like that I live in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows who the fuck I am. It's nice and nobody.
Oh well, I mean that's all well and good because I have somebody you've got an interest with.
I'm weird that way, man. I'm so like I don't want to get stuck sitting and talking to. I only go to two places, like the store and the gym, and like I don't want to be talked to when I'm at the store or the gym. You know, I want to get through my workout, so I don't want to get into a conversation about Karen Read unless I'm, you know, on a panel or on my channel or. You know,
you've got a panel. You've got people. You've got like-minded people.
Well, so do you. I mean, you do too.
Online, like whatever.
Right, online, right. I that's my point. Is I like it that way. I like this shit to stay online. You know, that's just me personally.
You got yourself a whole daggone freaking YouTube channel, right? I'm over here like looking at cows and corn going, damn, I wish I had somebody to bitch to.
Yeah, but you have you watch on YouTube, right? You log in, you have a YouTube account.
I mean, I am glad I have that outlet. I mean,
You
truly, I
you
do.
can
And I
post
mean, I've
you can post too. That means you can go live. So I mean, you can't do it from your
oh
phone until you have 1,000 subscribers, but you can go live if you have a laptop or a desktop. You can go live, and you can
yeah,
discuss
well,
this, and you can build an audience. You can absolutely, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
well, I guess that's something to think about on another
Yeah,
day.
it's
Anyway, well, I won't be clogging up your channel. I just wanted to call and be like, motherfucker, I need somebody to bitch to.
yeah, you
And
can.
you know
I
what's
mean,
so nice?
that's what the community's for. Like, you have a chat here that's saying, "Hey, you have us." If you're a member, you could chat with with the other members in my Discord. You can do that. There are Facebook groups you could join and speak to them. And like I said, like in the Discord, you can actually like talk. You can actually have a group conversation.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with, like, I know I sound like I'm 12, okay, but I mean, I'm 4'10", and I sound like Mickey Mouse, and you have no idea how frustrated it is to be like pissed off and you sound like a cartoon character. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, well, I won't be clogging up your phone line, but I just had to call and just have a little rant. I'm not sure much better now. And once again, I'd like to say thank you for letting me like let out the word cunt, because yeah, that's actually kind
Thanks
of
for
the best
saying
way
it.
that be said. Yeah.
We love it here. We
All
love
right.
we love it here. We love it.
But you take care. Have a nice night.
All right, have a good
Bye.
one. Bye.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
No way. Will?
Yeah. What's up? No way.
Danielle.
Oh,
Oh my God.
It's Danielle, actually. Okay. Hi, Danielle.
How are you? I'll be quick. I just real quick, because I don't know. No way. I was listening to WBZ this morning, the local news talk radio, as I usually do, and I caught mid-story about the lawsuit. And I don't know if I joined a little late to your show. Did anybody mention? Did I hear right that the damages he's seeking is $50,000?
You know what? I have not even gone into that. I don't know what the damages are that he's
That's
seeking.
what I heard, and I literally almost drove off the road because I'm like $50,000.
$50,000. I mean, right?
That's a joke. That's like probably a week of Alan Jackson. Like what?
Right. It's going to cost you more to file to even before you even.
So what does that say about the value of his brother's life? I'm $50,000.
It's going to
I
cost
caught the
him
tail end of it.
double that at least before it even gets to trial.
I know. I like to bring receipts, so I haven't had a chance to go on. Usually, WBZ
can't be
can
right.
go on the website and
That
see
can't be
what
right.
they said in the morning. But yeah, that's what they said. He's seeking $50,000, and I'm like, there's got to be more.
Right. Scott McGinnis says $50,000 to start. Further damages sought to be determined. But still, man, like
Blown away.
$50,000. What the fuck? Like Jesus Christ, $50,000 is not. I mean, yeah, only ambulance chasers would take this case. Only
But what do
ambulance
you mean to
chasers would.
start? You say I'm suing for $3 million, or so. You don't start. You go with your highest. You don't
Right. What I
come
mean,
in with your lowest.
right. Like it's not going to get better. Their case isn't going to get stronger.
Right. I
What
mean,
the
whenever you're posting something for sale, like if you're going to post something for sale on Facebook Marketplace, you put a price higher and knowing that you have a down to, but you don't put it up for $50 and have to get $300. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
But it's just another blow. I feel my heart bleeds for Karen. Like just I get so hung up on the fact that she's never been able to mourn her boyfriend, regardless of.
This person says that they got $50K just as an executor of a will. Like
I've always wanted to announce to the world that if God forbid anything ever happened to my husband and they investigated his death, the messages that they would find in the past that I've left that man, I mean, not drunk, just a raging lunatic, angry wife message. Like, I have left. I mean, the messages that she left really weren't even that crazy, and they just make it out to be a monster. And I just really, my heart bleeds. So this is just one more thing, one more, set of court appearances and battles, and it's just, I don't understand what.
Yeah,
I think.
I think they're just trying to wear her down. I think that's the intention here, is just to overwhelm
But
her.
what is wrong with Paul that he
Before the
won't
trial.
take the blinders off? Why isn't he taking the blinders off? If he talked to Josh Levy, like, I don't understand.
I'm not going to give him the excuse of just being grieving and being.
No, I'm not giving him that.
There's
Absolutely not.
something
No, that's
more
just fair.
here than There's something more here than that.
He's got water touching something.
Yeah, there's
It's
something
not.
dirty going on here that I don't even understand what it is. But it doesn't make sense that he would. None of this makes sense. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Really, I figured by now, after hearing 2.5 months of testimony, it would.
Well, that's the thing
Wait
is,
a minute.
okay, if he's in desperate need of money, that's not the excuse either. Because if he's in desperate need of money, again, this lawsuit, if he's only seeking $50,000 just to start, then I mean, this lawsuit is going to cost him more money than he's going to get out of it. So I don't understand.
I don't know what attorney would be interested in taking a case. Like, they get a third, right? Typically, it's like a third. The lawyer would. I mean, what? So
Normally.
the lawyer's gonna go after. The lawyer's gonna laugh at that. What's he gonna do with $18,000?
That's what I'm saying. Is these okay? So that just tells me the quality of attorney that he has. You know, like
Let's see those 800 numbers. Have you been injured in an accident?
These guys are
Call
straight
Jim
up.
Sokolow.
Yeah. These guys, their commercial comes on right after DeVry University. Have you ever dreamed of being a culinary chef or an air conditioner repairman? Like it's like right back to back those two commercials. So
I can't.
I don't understand. Like
Too much. I was just blown away today when I heard it on the radio. I said, "You've got to be kidding me." I mean, and why now? I mean, they're getting everything they want. I mean, they're getting their, Bev's totally singing right into their game. So what? I don't know. It's just disgusting. The whole thing is just so tired. It's just so extended. It's overplayed. Just like Sean McDonough said, I love Karen, like, all due respect, but I'm done with the case. I'm focused on the third party culprit. My focus is on the Brian Albert, what was going on in that house. That's it. I'm done. She's not going to get convicted. Let them do it. But you just can't help get by these roadblocks that keep coming up. And she's a human being. She's not, I don't know. For her to have all this weight on her shoulders, just, I don't know, my heart just breaks. I wish there was something I could do to make an impact and make her life better.
Yeah, I mean, we all feel that way. We all absolutely feel that way.
So disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister, one of my sister's best friends went to high school with her. So I have a kind of a personal, indirect connection with her, and she's been in the courtroom. You may have been there the day she was there, actually, my friend Jen. So she knows her personally and has witnessed her, her upbeat and positive attitude, but also just seeing her friend be put through this is horrible.
Yeah, and she's incredibly strong through the whole thing. She's incredibly good, she's in good spirits, at least what I saw,
I know.
Yeah.
Every time I see her, I'm like, wow, she's so professional, and
she's like that in the courthouse too. I mean, she's got a sense of humor. She's, Karen Reed is just incredibly strong through this whole thing. Her mom is great. Her dad is all business, as you would probably expect him to be, and Karen's all business too at the same time, but she still, she's smiley and she's pleasant and she's, personable and,
just a rock. And she's rock solid, and all her health issues that she's dealt with on top of it all. And
right. Yeah.
And losing the love of her life. I mean, losing her boyfriend. I mean,
Right.
whether problems or not, it was still the man she loves, and it just, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do what she's doing. I'm telling you, she's a better woman than me, I'll tell you. But yeah, but you guys do great work. I mean, I'm so addicted to you and Mike Crawford, and Turtle Boy's obviously in my backyard, so I've had a love for him since, I don't know, 20 years ago. But you know, because of Turtle Boy, I've learned of, I think I started watching you, and then Young Jerks, and then obviously Emily Aker and Melanie Little a little bit.
Yeah,
But you and
I
Young
can't
Jerks,
wait. I can't wait to hear what
oh my
Melanie
God.
Little has to say about this. You know,
Yeah,
and
she did.
it's
And Better
interesting
Rose
because
obviously become a favorite too.
yeah, because you know, the law tubers are going to be a little bit more. They're probably going to be a little bit more reserved and pulled back when it comes, because they're going to want to touch discussing the loved ones of a victim, you know, with kids gloves, you know. So I don't expect to hear some Paul O'Keefe bashing coming from the law tubers, but I am interested to see how they feel this is going to hold up. You know, I'm interested to hear how
Right.
what I don't think you're going to hear much from Melanie Little or any of the other law tubers as far as like what their opinions are as far as Paul O'Keefe filing it and why, and you're not going to hear much of that. But I think you'll hear whether or not they think it's going to hold up. And I'm curious if there is a chance to win, why there would be, for reasons that I wouldn't understand because I'm just a layman. So I'm really
Right.
interested to find out.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat there.
Right.
I just pulled up the website for WBZ as I'm talking to you just to see if I can see the transcript of that, but I'm quickly trying to scan it while I'm on the phone. I don't want to hold you guys up, but yeah, the dollar amount just blows me. That's what I'd be interested to hear, Better or Melanie's take on.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Is that
too.
really what you do? You work your way up? Because I've never heard of it. In Massachusetts, that is not how it works. I mean, and they're in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
So
I'm completely at a loss behind any of the logic behind this. I don't see like them having a case, and I mean, especially against the waterfall. The waterfall's like they're gonna be like, what? Why us? What? Makes no sense.
I know, it's very bizarre. And why now? I mean,
Right.
they could have done this a long time ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just,
Mm.
yeah,
It
it's
is
just
crazy.
really bizarre. Really bizarre. All right, I'm
But,
gonna take the next call.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all that you do and keeping us constantly informed. Your commitment is unbelievable, and we really appreciate you. And
Right
thanks for
on.
taking my call.
No, thank you. I
All right.
appreciate you.
All right, well, take it easy.
All right, bye-bye.
Call from Jennifer.
You're on, Jennifer. How we doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. How's it going?
Good.
What's up?
Hey, well, I got a couple questions. So first of all, I'm calling from Kentucky, so don't be making fun of my accent.
I would never make fun of
Okay.
your accent.
Okay, so I'm calling about this lawsuit, first of all. Isn't that going to open up a whole another bag of worms? Because isn't it a lot easier to get information into a civil suit than it is criminal?
Now, for those of you who don't know, in Kentucky, worms come in a bag and not a can, and that's why she said that. Now, I'm sorry. Repeat your question, please, Jennifer.
Isn't that going to have a whole lot of bigger issues in a civil suit than it would a criminal suit?
I think that more can be presented in a civil suit. That's what I'm hearing. I honestly don't know. That's a question for a law tuber. I really don't know. I'm curious about that myself, but I feel like from what I'm hearing that there's, I mean, so far everything's on the table until they file motions, and motions are granted to suppress certain information. But the FBI investigation is on the table until it's not. The ARCA experts, that's on the table until it's not. So I mean, I don't know what he's trying to. I don't know what Paul O'Keefe thinks he's going to accomplish here.
Okay, and then my other question is this. So when did they start handing out DUIs based on video footage? Couldn't she just have water in her glass?
That's a good point too. I always wondered that, I don't understand how they could have even, let's say that there was a 9-12 vote that Karen was guilty of count 2. How did they prove that she was intoxicated when you can't prove that she was intoxicated? The only way to prove that she was intoxicated is if you give her a sobriety test or a breathalyzer. You can't estimate. They estimated her blood alcohol level like 2 days after the fact, I think. So I don't understand how how that would hold up in the slightest bit.
Right. That's always confusing because, they handed her so many glasses, but we don't know what was in them. We don't know what she drank, and I just don't have to give it convicted of a DUI based on that one.
Yeah, and Scott is a police officer, retired, and says that the DWI shouldn't be admissible. Should have never been admissible in the first place. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
That's kind of what I thought also. Well, I'm going to jump off and let some other callers call in, and I just want to say hell yeah, I'm living out in the middle of nowhere.
Right on. Yeah, totally agree. All right.
Appreciate all you do.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Great callers today. Thanks, guys.
From Lori.
All right. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but these calls are all coming in very robot-y, and that's not anyone's fault but mine. So that's my internet. It's StreamYard or something. I don't know what it is.
Well, you're on with me, Will.
Okay. How we doing? Who am I speaking with?
I'm doing. This is Lori. I called last night. I forgot to share a fun Apple fact with everyone. The court reporter for Karen's trial, the lovely lady that did all the hard work.
Okay.
So I was watching Aaron Hernandez's docuseries on Netflix, his Florida Gator career and then the murder trial and all that. And she was the court reporter for Aaron's trial. I found that interesting when I saw her. She hasn't changed. She looks the same she did 15 years ago or 10 years ago, I don't know how long ago it was. So anyhow, just want to share that with y'all.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, I got time for one more call.
Ma'am. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
It's Miriam.
Hi, Miriam. What's up?
Miriam.
Marianne. Okay. Hi, Marianne.
Yeah. I spoke to you before. Here, let me turn off my volume. Hello. Yes.
Hi.
You still there? Yeah. I spoke to you before.
Okay.
About I work at the hotel.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember. And the high power people. Yeah. Well, I was just calling because I wanted to touch on that, like a few things that you've been discussing. like I said, I work in the hotel, and I've been bartending and waitressing for years, over 40 years. And the laws in Massachusetts, as far as like suing in the death and all that, drunk driving and whatnot, they go by the last place you were served at. So that's a lot of it. I mean, I was actually involved in a lawsuit like 30 years ago. When they started this, everybody could sue. You know, this guy walked across the street from where I was bartending and walked across the highway, across Route 1. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that happening like in the mid to late 80s where everyone just started fucking suing everybody. It was just crazy. Like, and then the early 90s, it was just suing. You could sue somebody for looking at you wrong. And, you know, yeah.
Exactly. And that's exactly when this happened. It happened in like 1986. And the guy was at our bar on one side of the highway around 4 o'clock. And he had come up to me and asked me, did I want something at dinner across the highway where he was going, where he was actually walking to, across the highway for dinner, that he was going to come back and he'd bring me dinner. And I said no. And he went, and I never even served him. He was being served from the other girl at the bar. Just happened to ask me if I wanted dinner. He knew I was on a double. So he went across the highway. He had dinner at the seafood restaurant. And on his way back at 8:30 at night, he got hit by a car on the middle of Route 1. And his family, knowing that he was a regular at our place, had tried to sue, and me especially, because he was seen talking to me, you know what I mean? So they thought I served him. And it turned out, you know, that they found out he had come back, and that's when he got killed. So that was dropped. So with the case of Karen, they're going to the waterfall because that's the last place that, you know, John and Karen were served at. And, you know, it resulted in his death. Do you know what I mean? So that's what they're trying to go after.
Right.
So like the last place it was served. And if Karen wins, hopefully his lawsuit doesn't come before her next lawsuit, because if they prove that she wasn't drinking and everything, because they can go by, they can try to use her blood test in the hospital and all that against her and everything. You know what I mean?
Well, sure, but I mean,
in a civil suit, they don't have to prove as much. You know what I mean?
well, the problem is that they're gonna have to prove that she hit him with the car. You know?
Well, exactly.
I
Well,
mean,
exactly.
you know, like if that's what they're going, or unless they want to prove that she drove him to the place where he got killed and try to hold her accountable for that. But that means that she has to hold the Alberts accountable too, and the McAlberts accountable too.
Exactly.
So I don't
Exactly.
understand what the O'Keefes think they're going to accomplish here.
I think if they drop this lawsuit and wait, because he's probably trying to get money for the children, you know, for the niece and nephew, you know what I mean, to support them, you know, further on. But honestly, if they wait till the end of all this, they probably ultimately can go after all the McAlberts, every one of them. I mean, all of them, and in a lawsuit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
for sure.
And
I mean, that's the
now-
thing is there's more of a case against the McAlberts than there is against Karen Read right now. As far as the civil case goes, there's more of a case against the McAlberts. You know,
Exactly.
I mean, I don't understand what Paul O'Keefe is trying to pull here. It makes no sense what he's trying to accomplish to me.
Another thing I kind of wanted to touch on, because they didn't say much about, because maybe it was like towards the end of the trial that a lot of stuff came out, but it didn't come out the fact that John O'Keefe had gone to the police to file a complaint against Colin's friend and with dealing on his property. And, that there's been, dealings, what I'm talking about, going on his property and everything. And there's also like allegations. So I'm saying allegations because I don't know how true they are, that when John filed the complaint against, like all and his friends, dealing the stuff, supposedly if it was like an investigation, it was maybe gonna come out that there was deals going on with, certain people. I'm not going to say names because that way I can't get in trouble for saying any of these allegations. But they were dealing out of the pizza place,
Okay.
and that the product was coming from two of the people from, actually three, because it was like supposedly a room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, John was in a position to expose the whole thing.
I mean,
and when he got to the house, maybe,
you're talking about, okay, I'm not going to get into that because you're talking about a motive that is based on rumor. And I can't,
No.
I won't explore down that avenue. I just don't do that.
Yeah.
Like the evidence, the defense didn't use that because they probably don't have anything to support it, which is for the same reason that I won't even explore that, is because I don't have any evidence to support that. So my whole thing is, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm speculating, and again, it's just speculation based on the evidence, the only person who seems to have the strongest motive would be Brian Higgins. But that's just based on the evidence. Now, it could be more than that. It could be what you're talking about too. But the problem is I won't explore that simply because I have nothing to back it up. I have no evidence to back this up. So we have to be real careful about how we.
Exactly, and that's why I didn't mention any names. And
right on.
Yeah. But I was just wondering if John O'Keefe going to the police about the dealings on his property came out later on. I'm wondering if there was any talk about them exploring, like.
Not to my knowledge. So, I mean, I have no idea.
And when he went into the house, that he wasn't jumped by, the young one there because of his friend and all of that.
I don't know. No idea.
Yeah. And then now, someone was saying something. I was listening, but I didn't catch it all. About them digging up the pool. Yeah.
I haven't heard any rumors about them digging up the pool. I heard a rumor. Sean McDonough posted something on Twitter that the feds seized the tools used. What tools exactly? I don't know. So I don't know what's going on, but I find Sean McDonough to be credible. So I don't know. But I definitely do think that we're going to hear more from Josh Levy's office in the time to come.
Yeah, because if they start digging up that pool, they might find all the cement with the blood.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right.
All right.
I just wanted to touch base with you, because everybody was talking about how can they sue? Believe me, they can. It's just they're asking for not a lot of money. Maybe they're expecting insurance, the boss insurance will just settle with them right away. You know what I mean?
No
For that low
idea.
amount.
No idea. All right. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you.
All right.
All right.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Yeah, yeah, as far as stuff like that go, I don't know. All I know is that the floor was redone at a very convenient time. I know Chloe was rehomed at a very convenient time. If I'm speculating, I'd say that you would find Chloe in the same place where you would find the original flooring of 34 Fairview. But where that is, whether it's in a pool or somewhere else, I have no idea. And I'm not going to go that far with my speculation because, again, I don't have enough to speculate that far. I don't know anything about drug deals going on in and out of D&E Pizza. I have no fucking idea about that stuff. So I'm not. I won't explore down that avenue because I don't know. I only speculate based on the facts that are made available to me. The facts indicate that Brian Higgins had the most motive out of anybody, as far as I'm concerned. So that's where I'm at. Now, man, I had a great time, man. This was really awesome. My conclusion as far as this lawsuit goes, if he's asking for $50,000, I feel like the lawsuit itself is going to cost way more than that. So that's weird to me. So I people are saying, well, he's doing it for the money. Well, he's spending more money than he's going to get. I don't see any chance of him winning any of these lawsuits, especially the one against the Waterfall Bar and Grill. That makes no sense. According to the Waterfall Bar and Grill, as far as their involvement goes, is Karen had 3 drinks inside the Waterfall Bar and Grill, and only 2 of them were served to her there. And so that's not enough to intoxicate somebody. They didn't do, there was no indication of her being intoxicated when she walked in. All of the McAlberts who were there testified that she did not seem intoxicated. The voicemails that she leaves, does she seem intoxicated to me? Sure, in the sense that like she's behaving irrationally because she's angry. So I figure that alcohol's got to have something to do with that, but she's not slurring her speech in any way in those voicemails. So, I mean, I as far as the Waterfall goes, I don't see how they think they have any case at all. And I'm also looking at, again, this law firm that has taken on this case. They're clearly ambulance chasers. And I'm wondering if the only reason that they landed on this particular law firm to handle the case is because no credible law firm would probably take the case. So I'm at a loss as to what the O'Keefe's goal here is, other than, if I had to guess at this point with what I know, I would have my guess is they're just looking to wear down Karen Read. They're looking to just put more weight on her, and make the upcoming trial more difficult for her. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Until I get more information, then yeah. And Scott is saying that Melanie Little is going to dissect this tonight. I'm looking forward to that. If I don't catch it live, I will definitely catch the replay because I am really interested in what attorney Melanie Little has to say about this. Very, very interested, because I am not seeing, I'm just a layman, but I'm not seeing any legal benefit for the O'Keefes here. I'm just not seeing any chance of them winning this or coming out on top here. It makes no sense. So that's where I'm at. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, man. Yeah, Melanie's takes are always great. And man, what a great bunch of callers, man. I love this. I'm going to continue to open the phone lines. I'm going to try to make sure that I find enough time, if I can. I'll for each live to open the phone lines and let you guys call in, and because I'm really enjoying talking to you guys. It's really great. So it's great. Thank you guys so much for calling. And please make sure to hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Thank you to all you new subscribers. And make sure to hit the like. It really helps the channel out a lot. And all the support, man. You guys were extremely generous today, man. It really means the world to me that you guys are that generous, man. Seriously, I'm blown away every time. Thank you guys so much for all the support and all the high praise and the kind words that you guys say when you call in, man. It's really, really great. Really does a lot for my heart, for my heart and my soul. So thank you guys so much. It really means a lot. So I am going to go ahead and wrap this up, folks. You guys are absolutely fantastic. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.